This is the Focus Shift podcast, your best listening experience for creating your best online business. We'll focus on topics that help you get discovered. So sit back, listen, take notes if you like, and get excited about growing your business.
Every single day, an estimated 361.6 billion emails are sent and received globally.
Which is just a wild number to wrap your head around.
It really is.
Yeah.
And yet, despite having this unprecedented, instantaneous access to half the planet, countless creative entrepreneurs are sitting at their desks right now.
Yeah, just staring at an empty booking calendar.
Exactly. Staring at an empty calendar, wondering why their digital marketing isn't translating into actual clients.
Well, it's the ultimate modern paradox for anyone running a creative business, really. You have the tools to reach everyone, but if the internal machinery of your business isn't engineered to handle that attention, it's useless.
Right. It actually works against you.
Oh, 100%. It just creates more chaos.
Which is exactly why we've designed this deep dive specifically for you listening right now. We have a massive stack of source material today.
A really massive stack.
Yeah, ranging from the APSIS 2025 Email Marketing Benchmark Report to strategic tutorials from PhotoBiz, Sequency, and Twilio.
Plus some incredibly detailed real-world workflow breakdowns.
Right, from industry pros like Melissa Arlina, Rachel Traxler, and Jakey Pitty. So the mission here is simple. We are going to shortcut your path to running a highly optimized, automated, and self-sustaining business.
And we should probably clarify up front, right? Even though several of these sources focus on photography businesses, the core lessons apply to anyone.
Absolutely. The lessons on workflows, local lead generation, and closed-loop digital marketing apply to absolutely any creative entrepreneur.
Because building a successful creative business isn't just about the craft itself. I mean, the art is just the baseline.
The real differentiator is how you engineer the underlying business machine.
Exactly. So we're going to explore how to connect the dots between your initial client onboarding, hyperlocal lead generation, your email sending strategies, and your SEO.
It's all about building this fully integrated ecosystem, right? Where every single piece just naturally feeds the next.
Yeah, that closed loop system.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can even begin to talk about scaling up and bringing in hundreds of new leads, we have to look at the infrastructure.
Oh, for sure. The foundation.
Right. If your internal workflow is chaotic, like if you're drowning in scheduling threads and chasing unpaid invoices, marketing is just inviting more people into a burning building.
That is such a critical starting point. Scaling chaos just gives you more chaos. You absolutely have to lock down the internal workflow first.
Before spending a single ounce of energy on top of funnel marketing.
Right.
So let's look at the blueprint provided by Jackie Owe. She details this completely bulletproof client workflow. And the absolute first pillar she emphasizes is speed.
Speed is everything right now.
Yeah, she uses pre-made templates and automated pricing guides. So the second an inquiry comes in, the prospect immediately receives the deliverables, the expectations, and the exact costs.
The psychology behind that speed is what makes it so effective. When someone reaches out, they're in a state of high intent.
Right. They're ready to make a move.
Exactly. So if you leave them waiting 48 hours for a custom PDF, their enthusiasm drops. They've probably already emailed 3 of your competitors by then.
Which means immediate automated responses establish this tone of extreme operational competence right out of the gate.
Yeah, it tells them you have your stuff together.
And that leads into the booking phase, which relies on a really tight integration of CRM tools like 17 Hats and accounting software like QuickBooks. But here is the detail that completely stopped me in my tracks. Jackie O requires 100% full payment upfront upon signing the contract.
Yep. Paid in full.
She isn't taking a 20% retainer. It's not half now, half later. It is paid in full before a single service is rendered.
I mean, clients can cancel up to 3 days before for a refund, but otherwise, yeah, the money is collected on day one.
But I have to push back on this because it feels incredibly aggressive.
Oh, it definitely is aggressive.
Right. Charging everything before a service is rendered feels a bit like making someone buy a concert ticket before they even know what kind of music you play.
That's a fair point.
Like if you're a service provider, doesn't establishing a 100% upfront paywall risk scaring away potential clients who might just be on the fence?
It absolutely will scare people away, but the nuance here is that scaring certain people away is a deliberate feature of the system, not a flaw.
Okay, so the friction is the point.
Precisely. Zooming out to look at sustainability, requiring full upfront payment acts as an immediate filtering mechanism.
Right. It weeds people out.
Instantly. It weeds out clients who aren't genuinely comfortable with your pricing tier or who have a habit of dragging their feet on commitments.
You want to trigger that hesitation early if it's going to be a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It protects the business against massive revenue leaks from last-minute cancellations, ghosting, or, chasing down final payments weeks after a project is done.
Which is exhausting.
It is. But arguably more important than the financial protection is how it fundamentally shifts the power dynamic and the creative relationship.
How so?
Well, once the financial transaction is completely out of the way on day one, every subsequent interaction focuses entirely on the creative process. Oh, I see. Nobody is awkwardly pulling out a Square reader or sending a Venmo request at the end of this beautiful, emotionally resonant session.
Right. You separate the cold business transaction from the warm creative experience.
That makes total sense. And you can see how that warm experience plays out in the prep phase of this workflow.
Yeah, the over-communication.
Right. The sources emphasize over-communicating to make the client feel, as Jackie O puts it, like a muse, not a mannequin.
I love that phrase.
Me too. They're using tools like Milanote or Pinterest for collaborative mood boards, sending detailed wardrobe and timeline guides.
Because the underlying emotion of almost any client stepping into a creative service, especially photography, is profound anxiety.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with their hands, they don't know what to wear, they don't know what to expect.
Exactly. So over-communication fills that void of anxiety with confidence.
And building that confidence continues straight into the execution. The workflow notes shooting tethered so clients can see the real-time results, which instantly validates their investment right then and there.
And then for post-production, we are looking at heavy integration of AI tools, like Evoto, for instance, seamlessly integrated into Lightroom.
Yeah, to automate the culling and retouching process.
Right.
And think about the return on time there. If your AI integration can cull 1,200 raw files down to the best 50 in seconds,
Just a few seconds, yeah.
and batch apply complex edits, you haven't just saved money. You've literally bought back your entire weekend.
You've removed the primary bottleneck of a creative business, which is the sheer manual labor of post-production.
Completely.
Which culminates in the delivery phase, using all-in-one platforms like Pixpa, where clients get a branded interface to proof, download, and route physical print orders directly to a lab.
You never touch a shipping label. You never manually email a tracking number.
So when you step back and look at that entire pipeline, from the automated inquiry response to the CRM booking, collaborative prep, AI culling, and automated print fulfillment.
Yeah, that internal workflow is no longer a source of administrative debt. It is a highly optimized engine.
But, an engine still needs fuel.
It does.
Now that the underlying business is bulletproof, we have to look at how to actually bring people into it.
Right, the lead generation.
And social media always feels like the default answer here, but the consensus across our sources is pretty stark.
Yeah, relying on the algorithm is incredibly dangerous.
Right, because you do not own your social media followers.
That is a structural vulnerability most creatives just ignore until their reach drops overnight due to an algorithm update.
Which happens all the time.
All the time. Rachel Traxler and Joe Harris both heavily emphasize this. The goal of your marketing cannot simply be to accumulate followers on a rented platform.
You have to migrate that attention from the social feed to the inbox.
Exactly. An email list gives you direct, unmediated access to a warm audience.
But getting someone to voluntarily hand over their email address requires a trade. You need a lead magnet.
And this is where Melissa Arlena's insights completely reframe the strategy.
Right. She points out the single biggest mistake service providers make is creating broad, generic lead magnets.
It's the trap of casting the widest possible net, assuming more volume equals more success.
Exactly. She uses the perfect example of a local newborn photographer who creates a beautifully designed PDF guide titled What to Pack in Your Hospital Bag.
Sounds incredibly helpful.
It is, but because it's a universal topic, it attracts global downloads.
Right.
So a photographer based in Phoenix, Arizona, ends up building a massive email list full of expecting mothers in London, Tokyo, and New York.
And they get zero actual local bookings.
Zero.
Because solving a generic problem attracts a geographically irrelevant audience. If your service requires physical proximity, geographic relevance is the only metric that matters.
So her solution is to pivot to hyper-local, niche-specific lead magnets.
Give me an example.
Well, if you're that newborn photographer in Phoenix, you don't write a universal hospital bag checklist. You create a definitive guide to the top-rated pediatricians, specifically in the Phoenix metro area.
That's smart.
Or, if you're a senior portrait photographer, you create a PDF detailing the exact yearbook deadlines and photo requirements for the specific high schools in your target county.
Or for a brand photographer, a guide to local in-person networking groups.
Yes. Notice what that does. By definition, the only people downloading a guide about high school yearbook deadlines in your county are parents of seniors who live there.
You are actively repelling international downloads to ensure every single person on your list is a viable local prospect.
But here's where it gets really interesting, though, because I have to play devil's advocate on the math.
Okay, let's hear it.
Isn't a broader lead magnet still technically better just from a sheer numbers game?
How do you mean?
Well, a generic hospital bag checklist could easily generate 10,000 downloads. A hyper-local guide about 5 specific high schools might only generate 100. Isn't a bigger list inherently more powerful?
That is the conventional wisdom, sure, but the data completely invalidates it when we're talking about local service businesses.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, email marketing is a game of quality and conversion, not vanity metrics.
Right.
A list of 10,000 subscribers halfway across the world is mathematically worthless to you. And actually, it's a liability. Most email marketing software charges you based on your total subscriber count.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you are literally paying a monthly premium to send emails to thousands of people who couldn't hire you even if they wanted to.
You're just subsidizing your own vanity at that point. A list of 50 local people who just downloaded your guide on local pediatricians is infinitely more valuable.
Because they actually have the specific problem you cater to.
Exactly. You have established immediate authority and trust with 50 people who physically live in your service area. That is how a small list generates massive revenue.
Okay, so we've established a workflow, and we've successfully used hyperlocal lead magnets to capture a highly targeted list of real prospects.
Now we face the actual execution.
Right. What do you send them, and when do you send it? We have some fantastic hard data here from the APSIS 2025 benchmark report and from sequencing.
The scale of the data in the APSIS report provides a really crucial context for how we need to approach the inbox.
It's almost hard to comprehend. 361.6 billion emails exchanged every single day in 2024.
That is the definition of a saturated environment. Your clients' inboxes are essentially a chaotic, crowded room with thousands of people screaming for their attention.
Yet despite that overwhelming noise, the report confirms that email remains the undisputed champion of digital marketing ROI.
The numbers are pretty wild.
Yeah, 42-to-1 return. For every €1 spent in email marketing, it returns 42 euros in revenue.
That kind of leverage is just impossible to ignore.
But because the inbox is so intensely crowded, the data shows that timing is everything.
Yeah, you cannot treat email like a passive billboard where you just hit send whenever you happen to finish a draft on a Sunday night.
The APSIS benchmark data shows very clear patterns. The highest engagement days across the board are Tuesday and Thursday.
And what are the times?
The ultimate sweet spots for open rates are 10:00 a.m. and 3:00 p.m.
Let's dig into the underlying human behavior driving those specific times, because it's not arbitrary.
No, not at all.
Why Tuesday at 10 a.m.? Well, Monday is universally a triage day. People are catching up from the weekend, clearing out the junk, putting out fires.
Right, they are in a defensive mindset.
Exactly. But by Tuesday morning, the triage is done. At 10 a.m., they've been at their desk for an hour or two, they've finished their first major task, and they are actively looking for a momentary distraction.
So you are arriving precisely at the moment their psychological guard is down.
And their curiosity is up.
That makes so much sense. And the 3:00 p.m. slot operates on the same logic. It's the mid-afternoon slump.
They need a dopamine hit, and checking their email provides it.
Exactly the same mechanism. You are timing your marketing to match their natural rhythms of procrastination and curiosity.
Now, once we hit send at the right time, we need to know what success actually looks like.
Right, the benchmarks. So a strong open rate hovers around 36.59%. The average click rate, meaning the percentage of people who open it and actually click a link inside, is about 1.98%.
Okay.
And then there's the critical metric of hard bounces, which need to be kept strictly under 2%.
Managing those hard bounces is non-negotiable. If you let your bounce rate climb because you aren't cleaning your list, ISPs stop viewing you as a legitimate business.
They just start viewing you as a spammer.
Right. And once your sender reputation is damaged, your emails won't even reach the inbox. They'll get silently routed to spam, and your 42-to-1 ROI instantly drops to zero.
And what about the actual substance of the emails?
Yeah, what are we sending?
Sequency's data reveals a major operational shift here. You should never just send a gallery of photos or a list of services. You have to embed your work in a narrative.
So important.
They point out that an email outlining how Sarah and James wanted their engagement photos at the bookstore where they had their first date performs exponentially better than a generic blast with a subject line like recent engagement session.
Because narrative creates a psychological bridge. A beautiful photograph of a stranger is objectively nice, but it lacks personal stakes for the reader.
Right.
When you frame it as a story about Sarah and James returning to the site of their first date, you are demonstrating your ability to capture emotion and significance.
The reader unconsciously projects themselves into that narrative.
Imagining how you might capture their specific story.
Plus, keeping the list segmented is vital. Tagging past clients differently than new leads, and using automated welcome sequences to manage expectations.
So people aren't just abruptly dropped into your general newsletter.
Right. But this raises a really practical question for me. Let's say I execute all of this flawlessly.
Okay.
I write a brilliant, story-driven email. I segment my list perfectly. I hit send exactly on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. Am I guaranteed an open?
Far from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Aptus data provides a fascinating breakdown of the micro decision a user makes. In the fraction of a second, they glance at their inbox.
What are the numbers?
42% of subscribers make the decision to open based entirely on the sender's name. 34% base it on the subject line, and 24% look at the pre-header text.
So timing gets you into the room, but it doesn't get you the attention.
Timing just ensures you are at the top of the pile. The actual conversion relies entirely on the combination of established trust and an immediate hook.
The sender name being the trust and the subject line being the hook.
Exactly. The sender name represents the historical trust you've built. If your subject line is boring, or your pre-header text is just auto-generated garbage like view this email in your browser, that perfectly timed Tuesday morning email will be swiped into the trash without a second thought.
Wow. Trust and the hook. It's a brutal environment, but the rules are incredibly clear.
They are.
Okay, so we've optimized the workflow, captured local leads, and mastered the science of the inbox.
Right.
But our sources from Twilio and PhotoBiz make a really compelling strategic argument here. Your emails shouldn't just exist in a vacuum.
Yeah, to create a truly self-sustaining business, your email marketing needs to actively feed your website's search engine optimization.
Your SEO.
Right, and your SEO needs to feed your email list.
This is the final layer of the architecture, moving from isolated marketing tactics to a closed-loop digital ecosystem.
Twilio points out a massive inefficiency in how most people operate. A successful, highly engaging email shouldn't just die in an inbox archive.
Right, you did the hard work of writing that compelling story about Sarah and James at the bookstore. You need to reformat that exact text into a blog post on your website.
This ensures that non-subscribers can discover that content organically via Google searches months or even years down the line.
And the flow works perfectly in reverse as well. You can analyze your website traffic, see that a collection of your blog posts, say your detailed reviews of 5 local wedding venues, is highly popular.
And you package those posts into a single downloadable PDF.
Exactly. Suddenly your existing blog content is functioning as a hyperlocal lead magnet, capturing new email addresses.
It's a continuous cycle. And there's a deeply technical benefit to this as well.
Which is?
Every time you send an email blast on a Tuesday morning and your subscribers click the link to view that new blog post or gallery, you are driving a concentrated surge of traffic to your website.
And Google monitors that traffic.
Yes, they do. When they see a spike of real users spending time on your site, it acts as a massive authority signal, which directly boosts your organic SEO ranking for future searches.
So the email traffic artificially warms up the SEO engine.
Precisely. And when we look at the PhotoBiz materials, they detail the specific technical guardrails required to maximize that SEO value.
Like what kind of guardrails?
Ensuring your blog titles are strictly between 55 and 60 characters so they display perfectly in search results. Keeping meta descriptions between 50 and 155 characters.
Oh, wow, that's specific.
Yeah, and applying meticulous tagging structures so Google's crawlers clearly understand the context and geographic relevance of the post.
And we can't ignore the role of client reviews in this loop either. Using your automated workflow to trigger an email asking past clients for a Google review is absolutely vital.
It really is.
The data points out that 93% of consumers read reviews before making a purchasing decision.
93%.
Yeah, a steady automated stream of positive reviews is one of the heaviest weighted factors in local search engine rankings.
So when you synthesize all of this, the email generates the traffic boosts the SEO attracts new local visitors.
The local visitors download the lead magnet.
And those new leads go right back onto the email list, start the cycle all over again.
So what does this all mean? It's essentially a sophisticated system of digital recycling.
Digital recycling, I love that.
You expend the creative energy to write a great piece of advice or tell an engaging story just one time. You use it as a lead magnet to capture a high-value local prospect.
Yep.
You break it down into an email blast optimized for that Tuesday morning sweet spot. And you plant it permanently on your blog with strict technical SEO parameters so it grows deep roots for Google to find later.
You are relentlessly squeezing every single drop of utility out of one initial idea.
Digital recycling.
And what makes this moment in time so revolutionary for creative businesses is the fact that you no longer have to manually execute the recycling process.
Right, because of AI.
Exactly. AI toolsets within platforms like PhotoBiz or Sequence's ecosystem can instantly draft these interconnected pieces.
That's wild.
They take your core idea, generate the email copy, adapt it into a formatted blog post, write the constrained meta descriptions, and suggest the tags in a matter of seconds.
So managing this highly complex closed-loop ecosystem of blogs, SEO, and email sequences now involves almost zero friction.
Pretty much zero.
Which brings us full circle to the promise we made at the start of this deep dive. You now possess the blueprint for a fully engineered business machine.
You really do.
You understand the necessity of a bulletproof, boundary-setting workflow that filters clients and collects payment upfront. You know the strategic difference between vanity metrics and highly targeted, hyperlocal lead magnets.
You have the empirical data to dominate the inbox using timing, trust, and narrative hooks.
And you know how to digitally recycle all of that effort into an automated, self-feeding SEO loop.
It is a formidable modern foundation. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to turn over in your mind as you build this machinery.
Oh, I love where this is going. What is it?
Well, consider the rapid trajectory of the tools we've just discussed. If AI and automation can seamlessly handle your photo culling, your retouching, your technical SEO formatting, your blog writing, and the precise timing of your email marketing, then the digital execution of your business is essentially a solved equation. It is rapidly becoming commoditized.
Oh, wow. Okay, that really shifts the perspective.
We are arriving at a reality where every single one of your local competitors will have flawless digital marketing, perfectly timed email sequences, and pristine technical SEO, all autonomously managed by AI.
Which means the digital stuff won't make you stand out anymore.
Exactly. When the computer executes the entire digital side of the business flawlessly for everyone, your digital presence is no longer a competitive moat.
So what's left?
Your only true defensible differentiator, the only thing that cannot be automated or replicated, is your physical, in-person human connection. So the question you must ask yourself is this: how will you intentionally design the actual physical feeling of your sessions and your client interactions when the digital world is no longer enough to set you apart?
That is an incredibly powerful question to sit with. If the messy house of your business administration is finally perfectly clean, what kind of host are you actually going to be when the client walks through the front door?
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
The Focus Shift podcast is presented by PhotoBiz, the best website solution for photographers. Whether you're launching your site or scaling your online business, PhotoBiz has your back. To get started for free, visit photobiz.com today.